Okay, everybody, welcome to the Beauty Outlaw. We've got another episode, and guess what? We are celebrating a special day today. It's our 1-year anniversary of the Beauty Outlaw. And when we started this, oh my gosh, I'll get into that story another time. But today we're going to celebrate with the same characters we had the first time. And I call them characters because I love them. And we started it with the Esthetician Diaries. And it was with my team here at my med spa. And they're incredible women. And today, we're not even going to toast at the end. You know I do my toast. We are going to toast now. And this is going to be the toasty episode. So we're going to go through what's happened over the last year and what the girls are doing now. And we're going to try to inspire other estheticians and other people in the industry and give them hope for 2025. And welcome to the Beauty Outlaw. All right, so we need to get to business. I need to thank my sponsor, Sauna Space and Heal MD, both of them. So I love my Sauna Space, so go to their website. It is in the show notes. You get 10% off if you type in Beauty Outlaw at the coupon code. And also check out Heal MD. Love them. I utilize them all the time. Check them out. If you're an esthetician and you're interested in using Heal MD's product, or if you're a provider for pre-treatments, it's an amazing product. I love it. It helps with bruising. It helps with pain. I love both of these products. So check them out. And thank you for being a sponsor. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Okay, so it's been a year. And about a year ago, I contacted all my crew here, my cronies, and I said, you know what? In January 2024, I think I want to do a podcast. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I think I want to do one. And I want it to be Esthetician Diaries, and I want it to be about estheticians. And you guys were like, oh. Christy was like, I'll do it. Yeah. Renee was like, oh my God, never. And, because estheticians are funny. They are in a room, usually locked behind a door, one-on-one. And so kind of to expose themselves in a format like this is pretty, what's the right word? Fucking scary. Yeah.
I'm like,
yes. So they did it. They did it for me, and I love them. And you need to check out the first podcast because we have come a long way. And even when the girls came today, they're like, what is all this equipment that's in my face? And this is so cool. So things have changed, and the girls have changed, and many things have changed in the spa as well. We've really done some upgrades. We've done some things. So I want you guys to stay tuned in this episode, especially if you're a new provider, if you're a new esthetician, if you don't even know, if you want to get into the industry, or if you're a patient. It's truly a patient-based podcast because it gives you knowledge and information that will kind of cut through the bullshit, because there's a lot of bullshit, which is why I started the podcast. And I hope that has inspired you. And you notice I've got a dirty tongue on this actual episode. I've been very withdrawn with my verbiage over the first year, but you know what? I'm with my cronies and my group, and I can speak the way I want. So I hope you all enjoy this episode. And I'm going to start first with Renee. We won't get into the background. If you want to know Renee's background, you got to go to the first podcast because she goes through her whole background, which is fantastic. But what I'm going to say about Renee is that she has been here with me for 18 years. So we have a long history together. And I think it is valuable, though, and I will go through. You can share how we met.
Yeah. How we met. Wow.
What brought you here?
I stumbled across an ad recommended by a friend. I knocked on the door, and you happened to be here. It was closed. Hours were closed, and you happened to be here. We had a great long conversation, and it was pointed and fun. We got to know each other a bit, and then which I've said before, but I'll say again. I was like, okay. You said, are you ready to do this? And I said, I'll get back to you, or I'll think about it. And you're like, okay, well, when you're at, I said I was at 99%. And you said, when you're at 100%, let me know. I went home. It took me about an hour. I called, and I said, I'm on my way back. I'm bringing you money in the contract. We'll see you then. And it's
18 years later. That's what's happening.
Get rid of me.
Okay, Melissa, how do we meet? How did we come together in this amazing group of women, of estheticians?
We met upon a referral. The day we met, you had literally just walked out of a really intense procedure. And meanwhile, I was wondering,
kind of like what I've got now.
How is this chick a ray of sunshine after getting poked and probed? And she's just got all this energy, and she's happy as can be. And then the F-bomb came out, and it was love at first F-bomb.
Very true.
Kindred spirits. And that was, am I right? Is it almost 6 years ago?
This is my soul sister. Yes, it was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Time does fly.
It does.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You came from Michigan.
Yeah.
And you guys, well, you're from California.
Yeah, from California.
And you got to watch the first episode, because Melissa kind of goes into how she started in the industry. It's really fascinating. Their stories are really fascinating, so you need to check it out. But before, what is up with your blue tongue?
There is an explanation.
I am an addict. I love this stuff. I mean, thank you for introducing this, because this is a game changer. I mean, I have not felt this good since I was in my 20s, and it's just doing some profound things for me. I feel so clear and so energized and so happy. I think I forgot how happy I could be, seriously, for a little while. So yeah, I mean, I am shameless with my blue tongue. I rock it like it's a badge of honor.
Melissa we're laughing about Methylene Blue. If you haven't heard about it yet, look it up. But it wasn't only Methylene Blue, I'm sure, that inspired you. We'll get to this.
Yes.
But it's a whole longevity program that Dr. Karen here at JKH Aesthetics Medical and I facilitate, which is amazing. We facilitate a longevity program, and one of those has really benefited the girls here, because they were the original guinea pigs to our longevity protocol. So it's been an amazing journey. And Melissa, I love that you showed up with your blue tongue, because I chose to take mine orally. That's how vain I am.
And we skipped.
Me too. No, I took mine.
Maybe we won't toast today. Maybe we'll just all take a Methylene Blue.
That'd be so good.
Probably better because we know alcohol is toxic. Yeah, we're drinking it anyways. Okay, Christy, tell us your story. How did we meet?
Seriously, answered to absolute prayer. I met Jerry, was a loan provider in my own space for 7 years of building my business, and never even thought about going outside of my own space for whatever reason. But COVID kind of forced me out of my comfort zone, and I just didn't have any idea where I was going to go. Worked within my network, was referred to you. And I literally just prayed before I came in. I'm like, okay, if this is a good or not. And I kind of talked to you, and I didn't know what to say. And I think I talked to you for like 10 minutes in between your client. You're like, yeah, you can come here. I'm like, no. Let me tell you what, let's figure this out.
COVID.
It was COVID. We were desperate. This is like the birth of the Beauty Outlaw. I didn't even know I was an outlaw until COVID. I was like, okay, I don't want to oversell myself. I don't want to, I'd never worked with another person. And you're like, no, you can come. I'm like, okay, well, but things that you need to know, you're like, you're good. Who is this lady, And I'm not coming for a couple months. You're like, you're good.
Well, anybody that would sneak through the side door to come
Seriously, I did.
to see about talking about possibly when COVID's all, I'm like, this girl's got some balls. Okay, come on. You're part of the team.
Yeah. And literally it changed my whole life for the best. Like I was so blessed. I cried, went in my car, cried my eyes out. Like, okay. That set the trajectory for me to completely change the structure of my whole life. And you were that opened the door. Oh, I could cry. And I just am blessed every day. I'm just like, I can't believe I get to work with these amazing people in this amazing climate. Like you're just, I mean, the podcast, the Beauty Outlaws, like your willingness to step out and be a leader in such a cultural change of that moment of time of COVID completely changed my life for the best. I know a lot of people left the industry. I doubled down because of your open door. So I want to say publicly, thank you. Any opportunity that I can get for being such an awesome, like brave leader in California. Yeah. So it's awesome. I'm grateful every day.
Thank you, Christy.
Yes.
I am grateful as well for all three of you in so many ways. This podcast wouldn't happen if I didn't have inspiration from you guys. So I'm just that crazy girl that just like goes for things like, oh, I have an idea, I'll go. And then they're like, really? It's like that dog that's stubborn, but you pull it along anyways. It's kind of what I do with these guys. So I appreciate that. And so, okay, we're over our effing love fest, for each other, because we do love each other. It's hard to find that too. So if you girls are in a space where you have that love for each other and affection for what each other does, don't give that up. Don't think there's a bigger place over the horizon, because that's hard to find. So I'll just share that with the newbies. And in life, if you're in a life situation where you have a partner and maybe it's not always great, but God, the most of it's pretty darn good. Stop looking around at other things, focus on what's good in your life. So, okay. So bringing it back to COVID, it has been 5 years, March 17th.
Yay.
I remember.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers. COVID.
It's over.
March has been. Okay, Melissa's so cute. We've got her Topo Chico in there. Yeah. Melissa's our smart one. She does not partake in the toxicness of champagne. But can you guys believe it?
No.
Can you guys believe it at home? I mean, we're going on 5 years, and sometimes it seems like it was 15. That's how far in the rearview mirror it is for me. What has changed in our industry, Renee, since COVID?
What has changed in our industry?
Do you feel there's been changes made in how people participate in the world of aesthetics or in your business? Are people different? Remember, we were masking up. We were doing all these things.
Different from that point, from COVID. Oh, for sure. We've well moved beyond that. Although I do have some clients that have yet to have returned, that have been longtime clients of mine that still haven't come in. I'm actually don't usually do house calls, but this special client has asked me to do a house call. So for the first time since COVID, I'm going to go do it because I'd really like to see her.
Oh, that's lovely.
Some people haven't fully gotten out of that yet.
Some people got stuck.
Yes.
And that's really the sad part about COVID, is I think we lost a lot of energy in this country that just got lost, and people forgot about these people, and they're still stuck. And that's kind of sad, and that breaks my heart a little bit. What I think is kind of funny, though, is that I notice when people cough now and sneeze, nobody seems to care.
They're not running for the doors.
And for California people to say that, that's crazy. Yeah. People now are sneezing or coughing, and nobody's freaking out. And that shows that we're healing. The bandage is off. The cells have come together, and we're healing and seeing it in the distance. And I think that's a good thing.
I've also had a big influx, which I was explaining earlier, of clients, especially this last year, which has been a blessing too. just new people that have not, didn't return to the industry. So for various reasons, I've gotten new clients, and there's been a big uptake on that too. So that's been a positive as well.
It has. So, Melissa, what do you foresee? Melissa does waxing, and she's excellent at it.
Thank you.
Excellent. If you haven't had, she does head to toe. So when I mean that, I mean head to toe. Men's balls. She does it all. She does it really well. Nose hairs. She does it all, and she does it really well. And she's very professional. We're laughing about it now, but she's very professional. She's very serious about what she does. And I've noticed personally that's really been a popular service in the aesthetics world is waxing. It's really come back. I see it everywhere on social media. People are really interested in it. What do you see the future and trends for the world of waxing? Do you think it's just kind of an immediate social media rise in it's really let me just go where I was thinking originally. Sorry. There was a surge at one time where lasers came in and waxing took a back seat. I don't see that now at all. I see lasers taking a back seat to waxing. What do you see in your industry in the next 5 years?
Well, funny thing is I get all the clients that did the lasers. So a lot of my clientele have had laser treatments done. And it reduced their hair significantly. And of course, after that, they don't want to be shaving. No. So, waxing it is great. And the advance in like products and technique and all that has really changed that too, because now I wax whatever's left over, and that is reduced greatly too with my type of wax, my technique, and home care, and all that is really important as well. So I think that, it's a great option for people that have had laser treatments.
That's a good answer. You win.
Very good answer.
It's true, because that laser hair removal isn't permanent. You're still sparse.
Right.
So it will come back. So, but I love that it's taken on such a positive spin, and people are really interested in it. And there's one particular human who has made the brow part of it be so popular, and that is Kelly Baker. And I have to share a story because we were at a show here recently, and we went as the Beauty Outlaw. I was the Beauty Outlaw interviewer. If you've seen any clips, maybe you haven't, but there was some clips. And one of them was the girls all knew who Kelly was. Melissa waxes, so she knew who Kelly was.
Of course.
And they're both grew up in, I think, in the same area, right? The same part of California. And she's like, there's Kelly Baker. You should go interview her. And I was like, Kelly Baker? And there they go. They start running and they get Kelly, and the clips are great. They are great. But she's done a lot for, I think, the esthetician that didn't know really what to do or what space she could be in, because California can be tough, guys, with what your scope is. And she really brought people into the brow world and teaching them an art, right? Because not everybody, you have it, but you're self-taught. And so is Kelly. Not everybody has the ability to be self-taught. So if you gave advice to a new person, what would you tell them to do? Like if they wanted to learn about brows, how would they go about it to be artful?
Well, having a good eye is really important, because it's, I feel like it's 30% technique and the 70% is a good eye. Because there's only a very limited technique to doing brows. It's not like that many different various techniques to it. But also, people like Kelly and people like Damone Roberts,
yes,
and people
you're
like
right.
Anastasia, just looking at videos and watching them, just watching their technique and their approach, and then taking their technique and approach and just making it your own also is really important too. That's really, I mean, I had a great mentor, but then it goes so far because you have to pick up your own steps and cadence and like the way you do it, especially with tinting. And there's other things involved with doing eyebrows, filling them in, whatever else. So yeah, to me, that's, if that answers the question.
It does. That's a great answer, because you're right. There's only so much we can be taught by others, and then we actually have to have the internal skill and the assessment.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to see somebody's brows, their face, because everybody's different.
Everyone's so different. It's like fingerprints. We all have our own fingerprint, and everyone has their own brow. There's always going to be, differences, variances, and the face shape, the hair color. That's all really important to take in with the eye.
Yeah.
So
and I've learned firmly in the world of aesthetics that not everybody has that. You either have the eye for face shape, and you can identify it. You see exactly what you see, what you're going to do on them. You don't need to play with any shaping.
Sure.
You've already seen it. The image is taken. It's in your head. You know what the deficits are. You know where they need to be. Like, that's what sets the high level from just that standard. I think anything in life, right?
Yeah.
Anything in life. But don't give up on it.
Right.
Work towards it. Some people work it a little differently. Like, some people don't think they have that skill, and then they figure out, boy, I'm getting it. Like, I'm identifying people. I'm changing my mechanism of action when I look at their face. So don't give up either. But that's great advice, Melissa. Great advice. You two, so Christy and Melissa, what they do so great here is that Melissa does eyebrow waxing and all types of waxing, as we talked about. But Christy does permanent makeup, and they call it PMU for short, for any of you that have watched the other episode. PMU is permanent makeup, and she steps in where Melissa hits a roadblock with patients. And can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. So PMU, permanent makeup, it's tattooing the eyebrows. That's one of the skills that I do. But to piggyback on what you were saying, like everything that you were saying, I had to go through that my own personal self when I became a permanent makeup artist. And that was one of my biggest struggles and fears, is like, what if I can't see it? What if I can't become my own artist? And at first, I am overeducated in this department. I took every course of everything I could afford.
Student junkie.
I was a student junkie, yeah, because of that exact thing. I just was unsure of myself, and I wanted to know the skill, but then I'm like, how do I map? Like, it really was a challenge for me because I wasn't a makeup artist prior or to any benefit. I was a lash artist before that. And I feel like just what you said, don't give up on that. Me training, nothing goes to waste. So me training with all different artists and seeing all the different ways and methods in which they came up with the right brow shape helped me. All that input helped me to be able to become my own individual artist. So like the reaction to feeling like I'm not skilled, I don't know what they're talking about, I can't see it on someone's face, whatever skill you choose in the esthetician, education really does help overcome that. I love training with other artists because if I think, oh, I can't do it this way, then I go train with someone else.
And you've
they
done
do it.
mentorship. I mean, you've had a mentor.
Yeah, I've had mentor. But I train with other artists that I respect their work so that I could see their style. So maybe one thing, and how I come up with the perfect brow for my clients is actually a combination of all of those things. Once I was exposed to all the different education, then I took what worked for me. So I don't do it one way that any of the artists I trained with do it. I took a little pieces and became my own artist. And that was the biggest challenge of overcoming that exact thought. I
remember you used to early on, when you first came here, you used to take off a day and go sit with somebody.
Yeah.
That was an expert really in your mind. And you sat with them for the day and watched them do their clients. You didn't have any hands-on. All you did was observe.
Yeah.
And I feel like what I learned from you through that is that was really valuable to you, even though, because you come home and you said you'd practice it out, you get home and you try to like copy that technique that person had.
Yeah, it's all about practicing. Like I was a dedicated practice person, and then you have to take that practice technique that you're devoted to and put it on someone's different canvas. In permanent makeup, your face is a canvas, and everyone has different skin types and everything that we learn being an esthetician. How does permanent, how does this skin take this pigment? And so you have to choose your pigment. You have to be well educated to tattoo someone's face.
Yeah, you do.
I take 100%. That so seriously.
I want to say one thing. If you're watching this right now and you want to go to the show notes, you'll see Christy, Melissa, and Renee's Instagram on there, and you can go and look at their work.
Yeah.
It's no joke. Not everybody's active. Like, not everybody has 200,000 followers.
Right.
We're too busy working. To tell you the truth. I'm not, no shade to people with a lot of you people that have been on my show have a lot of followers, and I love you and you deserve every one of them. But it doesn't mean that there's no value behind who you are or what you have to offer. Yeah. So I wanted to kind of get that out of the way because people have an opinion that somebody with like 100,000 followers has more expertise than the person with 6,000 followers. We've got to get that kind of out of our heads, but go and look at their work that they have done. Melissa's doesn't really even do, I think, social media really anymore.
I know.
But you still have,
I have like 1,100
you're busy.
posts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no need to do another eyebrow.
There was a time when
there's a line to get into Melissa. So she stopped. You had to stop the posting gig. But with social media, so let's transition to social media. So, we've got most of us here started in the world of no social media. We are, Melissa, are you a Gen Xer?
I am.
Are you a millennial? Oh,
ouch.
I just feel like you're a Gen Xer.
I know. I actually made the cutoff. I'm 1981, so.
She's our baby.
Her soul is like Gen Xer. Yeah.
And then we're
a Gen Xer.
Totally.
Gen Xers we're brutal. We're brutal. We'll cut through it. We are so brutal. We have an opinion of everybody under us. Millennials, our own children,
Totally.
Generation X, we have the opinion. But we also, okay, listen, kiddos out there, there wasn't a computer when I went to high school. There was no computer. There wasn't even DOS when I went to school. I didn't have computer lab. I had a typewriter. But my typewriter you could hit the button to erase and it had automatic eraser. I didn't always have to put on the whiteout. Anyways, I watched the world change quite a bit. And when I started my business in the 80s, of course, it was all ads. We did ads and it was word of mouth and visual windows outside of your shop. And there was a lot of that. Then we moved into the 90s where you had to have a website. And please go look up my first website. You will have so much fun. That is the creepiest thing you've ever seen. That was like in 2000. That was scary stuff. It's pretty funny though. I look really young. And then it transitioned. Then it get busy, right? You got busy, and then you guys all live in the generation. You young people live in this. I call you young people. Live in the generation where all this stuff is changing so rapidly, and I figured, well, crap. I better jump into this game.
Adapt.
I'm gonna do adapt or lose.
Sorry.
Adapt or lose. So I've dove in. I consider myself a kind of an expert in social media. At least I'm partaking in it. So How about you, Renee? How's your gig going with social media?
To ask this question on.
give.
Still a little antiquated. I appreciate social media. I learn stuff. My lovely daughter does my page, which is good and vibey.
Yeah.
So she took away from what I was trying to do before, which is great. Still no website, but in the works. And I've been all word of mouth. So I've been very fortunate.
Don't you feel like Instagram is a website these days? It can be.
It is. Yeah. It's been a nice platform. But not it hasn't been a hub for me. But then they can, get to know me. But I can expand on that like you have.
Hi, everybody. This episode is sponsored by Pretty Girl Cosmeceuticals. These products are the best. If you're not using them, you need to use them. You can contact JKH Aesthetics anytime, and we will give you a consultation about how to use these amazing products. We have Glow Girl and Ice Drops. These will keep you young, healthy, and glowing every day of the week. And now, back to the episode.
We're moving from the micro trends to the vibe trends.
Okay.
Okay, that is the new terminology, everybody,
For social media.
for social media.
Okay. Oh, good.
You need to have a vibe. So we're getting rid of. I think it went. Oh. We have another guest on the Beauty Outlaw. This is so exciting. Let's open it up.
Okay.
This is
Very determined.
This is a
guest.
great day.
Very
Should we turn the
determined.
camera?
Probably a delivery.
Oh my
I
God.
love this. Come on in.
That face was
Come
priceless.
on in, guys.
I want to be careful.
Are you guys? This is AC.
What advice?
Oh, ours don't work anyways. I'm just kidding.
We're in the middle of something.
Maybe in
We're in the middle of a live podcast.
You guys agree tomorrow?
We'll be here later this week. Yeah, we'll be here on Friday.
Tomorrow.
I don't know. But anyways, bye guys.
Tomorrow. No.
Oh,
communication at its finest.
that was the fire inspector. He's coming back later.
Yeah. And you shoot him away.
Yeah. So anyways, let's get back to the micro trends. So micro trends were things where people were copying other people, like those goofy videos where you saw somebody. Oh, I've got one. You saw somebody shaking Sculptra.
Yeah.
In my, in the aesthetics.
Yeah.
The shaking of Sculptra. Shake, 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 shake Sculptra. Or you guys know the skits. They're like little skits and everybody copies them.
Yeah.
Or somebody, it's a certain type of filler and people are all doing the same thing. So now it's going to more the vibe. Who are you? Who's your community? What are you about personally? We're moving away from that. At least that's what Chat GPT told me. So if they tell you, it's probably right. So I like that you said vibey.
And I did not know that because we all know I don't use ChatGPT.
Uh-oh. Shh, don't say that. So I'm going to move into another topic because we've got so many. I have like a list of topics.
Yeah.
But one of the things I want to talk to you guys about. So in California, we're at the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology. The scope of practice is very narrow. And it's that for a reason. I'm not arguing with it. But if we want to do something about it, we have to do something. But what's just happened, which is really interesting, is there's quite an uproar right now. And it's the head shampoo massage places.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard about this, guys?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, there's quite a, like, it's infight. We got some infighting in our own industry. So if you're licensed as a hairdresser and if you're licensed as an esthetician, the hairdressers are mad because they say, nope, you're not allowed to do the scalp. You're not allowed to give somebody a shampoo. And it's the estheticians that kind of started this whole going from, they do a little neck massage. They massage your scalp for like 45 minutes. Can you imagine? This must feel really, really good.
It is.
And then they clean your hair. And I think where they drew the line was they started blowing out. So now you're an esthetician and you're blow drying somebody's hair because, you kind of don't want to leave them home as
Wet hair.
I kind of get that. But I think estheticians did know their scope. They shouldn't be doing that. But it was happening. And it's also happening with people that are just doing it. So people are just offering, these massage therapists are offering this. And now hairdressers are like, whoa, 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 you can't blow out. And they can't. They really can't. I mean, they went to school to do that. So what do you guys think about that? What do you think about that, Melissa? What do you think we should do about it?
That's so
Do you think we should
interesting.
have police that go out and arrest these people?
Oh my God. Like COVID?
True
Because
story.
it's a big problem here in California.
Yeah.
Well, I think that if anything, they should extend their licensing. I mean, go back to school, go become a cosmetologist too. I mean,
Find a
that's
way.
really, yeah. If you want to do that, then there's a will, there's a way. That would be the next step. You could be an esthetician and you can get your cosmetology license. Then you can do both safely without any.
Wow, that's pretty powerful because you know what, you're right. And the more I'm sitting here thinking about it, hairdressers are the quietest demographic of workers.
Yeah.
They don't complain about much.
Because they're too busy working.
Right. They're so busy working.
You chicks are crazy workers.
Excellent point.
But so are we.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a hairdresser. That's how hard we all work around here. These girls are brutal. They worry about their own lives. A lot of them are single moms. A lot of them are kicking ass. So it's the first time I've heard kind of an uproar, and I'm like, oh, these girls are really roaring. I like this. And they must have a reason.
Right.
And they're protecting their space. They're protecting their scope because they had to pay for it themselves and go to school to do it. So I like that. I think that you're right there, Melissa. If you're doing this and you're an esthetician, you gotta stop.
Yeah.
Because you're really not allowed to do this.
And then you got to do the time.
You gotta do the time.
You got to do the time.
Just like an esthetician,
Right?
Yeah.
you want a microneedle? Well, you can't. Okay,
Right.
I'm sorry, you can't. You can't whine about it if you get in trouble. You got to pay the fines and the dues, and you got to go to jail, and it's the whole thing. And you can't do it. And I keep beating. I get these all the time. I get DMs that people are asking me. Well, I do. I'm in a doctor's office. Okay, what does that mean? He can't. He has no scope over you. Like, he has no power. You are not a nurse. He can't tell you what to do. So I like that the hairdressers are doing this. I think it's pretty cool. They're standing up for something that they strongly believe in. And these chicks don't say a lot. The only other time I heard from them was during COVID. Like you said.
Probably so.
And they were pissed, as they should have been.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
course.
good for you, hairdressers.
Yeah. Awesome.
Good for you.
I love my hairdressers. Yeah.
Listen, we love our hairdressers. In fact, our next episode after us is going to be, I got hairdressers coming up.
Oh, awesome. Then you can ask them about that.
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to find out what else bugs them. Yeah. I'm going to ask them all kinds of stuff. Okay. All right. So I've got my little notes here because I'm trying to stay reined in. And it's going to be really difficult today, as you can all tell. It's like you're all at dinner with us right now.
All
right.
Toasty.
So let's do something inspiring right now. Let's give some advice.
Oh.
Let's give advice to that new esthetician. Okay. She's like this. Doesn't know what to do, what path to take. She just got out of school. What's school all about, Christy?
Yeah, school is just your golden ticket. That's it. Like, it's not a skill-based program. It's a golden ticket giving you permission into the promised land, basically. And then, thank God we live in 2025 because anyone who has a great skill has probably had a course or somewhere where you can go to. That's what I did. Like, find someone's work on social media that you admire, follow them, and then go pay them to teach you their skill and then become the artist that you're supposed to be. I mean, pick a skill in the beauty industry. It's like the best world promised land you could ever enter. So you need your golden ticket and then get it going. Don't think you're going to walk out with all kinds of skill. However, I will say night school to the Esties, that was the best decision I ever made because I was already doing eyelash extensions full time, had a full book of clienteles. And then in California, though, it changed. So I had to pay my time and go to school. So 8 months of night school, Monday through Friday, no life. I worked during the day, and then I worked 6 days a week, went to school until it was over. And I met the best girls because most of the night school girls were already hustlers. They were already doing something, and then they needed their golden ticket. So I'm actually still really good friends with a handful of them, and I got to teach them my skills. We still network, we still talk in a community, and that was actually the best thing. So never thinking that
something I didn't say, but it's in the first episode because we talk about this, is that Christy also does lashes, and that was her starting point.
Yeah.
She's a lash artist. So, but she's branched out over the last 7 years. She's also doing brows as well. What do you think? This is what I see with the girls that just get out. I think they see dollar signs and they think it's just going to happen.
Yeah, as soon as they learn a skill.
Yeah.
Like, no one's going to give you money for nothing. If you want, just pick a skill. Pick waxing, pick topical skincare, pick eyelash extensions. Permanent makeup is not part of your esthetician license. That's different.
That's different.
But just get in the promised land and then pick a skill. And then once you master it, master something else. I mean, that is really the benefit of this
How many years?
industry.
How
10
many years should somebody give it?
Yes,
before
I
they
love
think
that.
they're an expert.
I love that. The number one book that really helped me overcome the shocker that I wasn't going to someone wasn't just going to give me money for my skill, or like I was just going to decide to have a business and what, like I actually had to master the skill was talent is overrated. And I listen to a lot of books while I practice, and you have to overcome the mindset that you're entitled to a full book. If I have a full book of clientele, it's not something I was entitled to. It's something that I work. I am consistent. I show up. Learn how to be the best in your field. That is going to require dedication, discipline, education.
And then you never stop being a hustler.
I never
right?
stop. No,
Like
but
we never stop. So you build a clientele, but you've got to keep hustling.
Yeah, one thing about people when they own their own business, and estheticians you get your you get your golden ticket, and then that's it. It's a blank slate, and you get to choose what you want to do and how much you want it, what your pain points are, what you're willing to overcome. I personally am not naturally any of the things that I do. My skill set is very precise, like doing eyelash extension is like threading needles for 12 hours a day. I choose to do it 12 hours a day. No one makes me. It's just how I built my business. Same thing with permanent makeup. I don't have to be the best. I want to be the best. So it gives you the freedom to become amazing if you want to. If you want to take a paycheck from someone because that's too painful for you. So it depends on your pain points. Then that's your decision also. I just want to be the best at everything that I do. So get out of my way. Like, I will figure it out. I will cry in my car every day for 6 years, but I will continue. And that is just pretty much my personality, I guess. I don't know. It has good points and bad points. But for these two skills in my promised land that I got the golden ticket, I did. It's like, just keep going. That's my advice.
What about the girl? How long is it going to take her to define herself as an expert? Does she need time? Does she need to start working on clients first, or can she practice for several years, or does she actually need time on patient, time on client?
For sure.
I think it's time on client.
It is time on client.
I was asking Melissa.
Yeah, I do, because that changes everything for you. Everyone's so unique that you need those challenges because, like, for example, when I do eyebrow shaping, nobody comes into me with perfect eyebrows because why would you need me? So people always come with all kinds of different challenges that I love taking on, whether it's matching their color, because color theory is so important. Understanding color theory will make you outshine in your specialty. Because I get a lot of people with, brows that are blonde and their hair is, let's say, a strawberry red or whatever it is, and matching them is really important to them. And then also being able to have someone with either very asymmetrical brows or hardly any brow on one side and the other side's full. Just being able to work with those challenges is really important. That takes a lot of hands-on work. Like you really need to work on people, very different people, to be able to build on your specialty.
But you got to start.
Yeah, you have to start, and you definitely have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But I feel like it takes sometimes more than 2 years, because it takes you sometimes a whole year or two just to build clientele.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you first start, you're going to maybe do 1 or 2 clients a month.
What do you think if they don't have any money? Like they need to work, they need to have a job. How do they do it if they need their full-time job, but they really want to do this? How would you suggest they do this?
Well, what I did personally was I bartended at night and I worked during the day. I showed up whether I had 1 client or no clients. I would show up, and sometimes I had no clients for the whole week.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I still showed up, and I sat there from 9 to 5.
There. Mm-hmm.
I sat there, and it was totally fine with me. And it was a struggle, and it was sad and like sometimes depressing, but you do it. You have to show up. No one's going to call you and be like, hey, can you come? We have a client. No, you need to be there and present, and you've got to just
You just
wait.
nailed it, because that is what's happening. And that's it happened when I was back in my day. That's what sets you apart. You're willing to pay your dues,
You're willing to pay your
and
dues.
you show the space you're at, the place you decide to go. I'm here. I'm committed.
Yes.
They're not going to call you. Can you do someone between 11 or only? Do I have any clients today?
No.
That's not taking it serious.
No, no.
You got to move the needle. You're like, I'm moving the needle. It's just like when you had to be at school for 5 hours or 8 hours.
Yeah,
you had to be
exactly.
there. Yeah.
That's good.
And you have to be there to put the time in. And it can take you a year to move the needle. It can take you
It does.
2 years
Yep.
to move the needle. But it's worth it in the end, the whole time you're learning. That's what I feel. The whole time you're learning.
100%. Yeah.
And pay, it's not paying your dues. It's such a mean way to say it. Taking your freaking career seriously.
It's ownership.
I want to build a business. You can't just open up the door and business shows up. It doesn't work like that. And it's competitive, guys. You're all on social media. Everybody has a group and their own little algorithm that sends out. And you really need to be present and available. Availability.
Yes.
Right?
And being present is part of being professional,
Mm-hmm.
because a professional will be present.
Accessible,
And
present,
that's good.
and available.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So you're going to need to put the time in, girls. That's what I think. There's a lot of downtime, a lot of not doing anything. You can bring your computer. What's great, you can bring your computer and work on your website.
Now you can.
Those are the things you could do,
Right.
right? You can work on your business plan. So don't give up, ladies. Don't give up. Also, I've really thought about this a lot. And I actually talked to Renee about this when you talk to young people not young, even women that have decided to go to school and become an esthetician. You really got to set yourself apart. And I feel what I've done in my life that set me apart, because, y'all, I still do skin. I haven't moved on from that base. I love doing skin. That is where my heart is. And that's what I believe. I can't sit and inject all day. It just doesn't work for me. Is education in all things your field. If you don't know something about what's trending right now, you better become the expert. Because the minute you lay hands on that patient and you're doing a facial and you start communicating about things and they have questions, you have all the answers. You become extremely valuable to them. We were talking about that last night, right, Renee? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. It's not just about what this mask is or what this particular thing is, why you're doing it, understand the history from it, which goes into another topic. But looking at it as a whole, setting yourself apart, caring, even if it's not what we're doing or if it's not in my scope at the time, but they have concerns or they're looking to do something, you should know about that.
Mm-hmm.
You should know about what all their options are, not just, for procedure as well. And when you can, then they can look at you as an expert because you know what you're talking about.
They're not
Even
going to
though it's
find
not your
that down the road with their other provider or their other esthetician. Say they go somewhere for a facial and they come into someone like you and they're talking about their middle aged and they're talking about their hormones and you have answers for them.
I got lots of answers.
But
the list is long.
but it's not only I'm going through it, it's I have answers for you to get it handled.
So,
and I have people for you to go to. And that's huge. That's huge.
And I think you talked about the trend, and I had to really think about this because I've been doing this a long time. And so to me, trend is like, I'm not so sure because I don't know that I have that pulse. But what I do know is I've been in it long enough to see all the ebbs and flows. And something that is now trending is this particular situation that you're talking about with what I say would be like a wellness, like a whole body, what we look at for skincare. And it's not just about the skincare.
We've been doing that for 30 years.
Exactly. It's not just about the skincare. It's the internal supplements. It's looking at gut health and how it affects. It's looking at your age. It's looking at all the other things that we can do going into longevity versus anti-aging.